Alright everybody, and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. This is kind of a video that I wanted to be the first of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator game that I upload, and we're gonna do some nighttime sightseeing here in Las Vegas. I've recently traveled to Las Vegas pre-COVID-19 back in December, and I was there for 5 full days, I think it was, and I did a lot of traveling around, did a lot of sightseeing on my own, and so the whole Las Vegas area is fresh in my mind, so I wanted to do a little bit of flying around here at night and upload it onto YouTube. This is currently in real time right now. It is 11:07 p.m. Las Vegas time, local time. I'm going to be flying around in the Flight Design CT Superlight, and I think it's safe to say that this is probably my favorite general aviation plane in the game. I really love that it is entirely VFR. There's no autopilot. The most you can do is set a waypoint, and it kind of guides you to it. You have to fly this plane on and on. And it's also got pretty good range. I think I can get 5 continuous hours of flight time on this thing. It's just been really enjoyable to fly so far here in FS 2020. So let's get this plane fired up, get in the sky, and let's take a look around at Las Vegas. So let's get this bad boy fired up. Let's get our fuel valve on, get the choke on. The little plane checklist says you should throttle up a little bit, but I never have. It looks just fine. Park and brake is on. And we are going to set it up. Maybe I should turn the battery on first. That'd probably be helpful. Alright. Fire it on up. And we want the oil temperature. Oh, the oil temperature jumped right up there. Perfect. Alright. Choke off. Let's get our beacon light, navigation light. And the beacon and navigation, the beacon is basically the strobe light. It doesn't have the red beacon, you know, that a typical airliner would have. So, yeah, it's not that big. I'm sure that's the way it is in real life. I was a little bit surprised it wasn't there, but we got that. So it's going fine. I throttle it up a little bit under 10 is a pretty good taxi speed for me. Get our headlamp on. By the way, I'm using an Xbox controller to control the cameras. Seems to work fine for me. Park and brake is off. And there we go. Let's go explore Las Vegas. when I actually flew out to Vegas in December, obviously being December gets dark fairly early on, and it was completely dark when we were landing, and just flying into the entire Las Vegas area, and just seeing that beacon of darkness in an otherwise entirely empty landscape is something else. And I mean, you can see how bright these surrounding areas are too. And one thing I really like about this game is kind of how the city lights can light up the cockpit from this view right now. Like, I was flying in pitch dark. Cockpit was completely black. You could not see the controls at all. And I flew over the city, and the kind of the ambient glow lit everything up. It was really nice. I really liked that. I usually have my cruising throttle set at 50. There we go. And we are up in the air. We took off from runway 19 right, by the way. It's probably one of the more seldom runways used. The most common runway are the 25 runways, both left and right, coming in from the east over Lake Mead. Much more often than the 19. I guess that's just how the wind is there. Which makes sense, with the wind going westy, western wind there. We are going to loop around and get lined up with the strip. Big turnaround. Okay. First I want to see if the welcome sign is here. We're becoming low and hot. It's right up in here. There's the parking spots for it. I didn't see it. I don't see it. That's gonna have to be something they added later. Not too surprised. But I think it'd be a nice touch if they put that welcome sign in. And, you know, right off the bat here, one of the first, the biggest disappointment is the lack of the spotlight on top of the Lexer. That is just an absolutely iconic vision in the whole Las Vegas nighttime scene, is seeing that bright spotlight on top of the Lexer. It's really, this whole section of the strip really isn't the same without it. And it'd be nicer if they had the name Lexer on top of the little Washington Monument. And it's kind of ironic that this Washington Monument looks much better than the actual Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. At least from the screenshots I've seen. I have not flown out there yet. And here's the Mandela Bay. This is the hotel that was involved in the Las Vegas shooting a few years back. Prior to actually going to Las Vegas, I didn't particularly know exactly where this whole shooting situation occurred, but this is it right here. There was a concert going on right down here, and the dude who did it was in one of the rooms up here and just unleashed down into the concert. And now that I know that it was that hotel in that area, it's kind of hard to not look at the Mandela Bay and not think about that. There's a convention center down over here. Especially since the hotel I stayed at is 2 blocks away. Sharpen our bank up here. And we'll get there, but I stayed up here at the Tropicana. So we will move on that way. There it is. There's the hotel I was at, the Tropicana, and I got really lucky. I was on this side, and I was also on the side that was facing the airport. So I was on this side, but I was on the other side, and I got an absolutely magnificent view of the runway we just departed on, actually. And I did a whole lot of plane spotting photography. Just an absolutely phenomenal view of these 2 runways, and really the eastern side of those runways as well from my vantage point. And then right across the street from the Excalibur here. Man, it'd be kind of cool to fly through that beam too on the Lexer if it was there. It wasn't. It's not. Maybe someday. I mean, I honestly can't be that difficult to just stick a light up there and make a beam going upwards. But yeah, we were second from the top, like right up here. It was just an absolutely phenomenal view. Crossing the street at the MGM. This was actually a very gorgeous looking hotel at night. The MGM Grand. It was lit up with any nice green lights, and especially from like the skyways over here and across over here in New York. It was just a beautiful, beautiful looking hotel at night. And here's New York right here. On the ground, New York looks absolutely huge. It looks like it's all up in your face, and that the buildings are just ginormous, but from there you can just kind of see how much empty space there is up here. And these buildings, while they look imposing from the ground, they're really just, I mean, they're mostly just props to begin with, but it's just a little row of them right here. And one thing that isn't in the photogrammetry yet is the T-Mobile Arena, and that would be right here. This is where the T-Mobile Arena would be. And we went to a hockey game there, and it was, I mean, I don't know if you hear about how great of an atmosphere T-Mobile Arena is, and just being there for a game was otherworldly. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was, oh man. Just thinking about it right now makes me want to go back there. Definitely not going to be able to see it, but Hershey's Chocolate World is down here. This might be it right there. Hershey's Chocolate World, that's right down there. There's a few other things down there too. Here's the Park MGM. This is a very common hotel shape here in Las Vegas. And across the street from this stuff here is a whole bunch of shops. Whole bunch of good stuff to look at. And then diagonally over here, that's where the food is. Oh, there's the Walgreens up there, and there's like there's a Buffalo Wild Wings up there, and then there's this place called Nacho Daddy. And we went there on our first night there, and oh my god, that was probably one of the best nachos I've ever had. That was so good. Moving right along as we get to Paris, with the Bellagio right across the street and the fountains. Oh boy, if they could get the Bellagio fountains animated and lit up at night on here, that would be that would be so cool. Oh man, you can kind of see fountains in there. And there's the Eiffel Tower in Paris. This is a very beautiful part of the area here. Did not get to spend a whole lot of time in Paris, Las Vegas, but we didn't really venture much up this way. I mean, we were mostly down there, but you know, we're here for the pictures and whatnot. And then, of course, right adjacent to the Bellagio, Caesar's Palace. Absolutely iconic looking hotel. With the flamingo right across the street. Tough luck being the flamingo right across the street from the Bellagio and Caesar's Palace. Look at that. See if we can get a zoom in there. Oh yeah. Alright. Yeah, it's a little bit pixelated down there, but and then the Mirage over here too. I took a kind of a long look picture that had both the Mirage and the other side of Caesar's Palace from like way down over here. The Mirage was also very nice looking. Hotel. And the iconic picture of the Beatles up here. Absolutely remarkable. Wrong button. Let's just kind of get a heads-on look as we fly over this stuff one more time. The very first time I went to Las Vegas, quote, went to, quote, to Las Vegas, we just drove through the strip, and it was probably like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's just, you can't beat the night look. And that was back in '07, I think it was. There's New York over here. The MGM Grand, Tropicana, Excalibur, the Luxor, and Mandela Bay. And then the welcome sign would be right down here. There's a shark aquarium in the convention center here. That was fun. There's the interstate. On the other side of the interstate, kind of by the In-N-Out, that's where they're building the new NFL stadium. Under construction, not at all surprised that it's not here. It's the other side of the Bellagio, probably not nearly as, maybe from the freeway viewed, but most people know the Bellagio from the side of the fountains and from the strip. Well, look at this. In one of the pictures I took of the welcome sign, I actually have it set as my computer lock screen. You can actually see Trump Tower, Las Vegas, way in the background. I mean, it is just right down Las Vegas Strip, and it wasn't until months of having that as my lock screen that I noticed just the big Trump sign on the side of it right there. I try not to look at her now. Alright, a couple more things. We've got the wannabe Space Needle over here. It's kind of like a hybrid between the Space Needle in Seattle and then the tower in Toronto. that's pretty much the last of the sights from here. Get a nice front view of everything that way. There's one more thing I want to find, and I'm just kind of struggling right now. Is I'm a huge baseball fan, and there's a minor league stadium, Cashman Field, nearby. This looks like a golf course right here. That's probably Desert Pines Golf Course. Or no, that's the Las Vegas Country Club. Yeah, that's the Las Vegas Country Club. Alright, so we gotta turn around. So there's the Las Vegas Country Club. East. I'm pretty sure there's a Las Vegas Country Club. I mean, it's a minor league baseball field. It's probably not much to look at when it's nighttime and dark out, but honestly, some of the baseball field renderings I've seen elsewhere are not that good. So I'm not too sure if a minor league field would be all that wonderful either. This is the interstate here to the east. The other interstate, that might be 515 right here. I think I see it. That's gotta be it. After we circle around Cashman Field, we're gonna land at Nellis Air Force Base. How about that? Oh yeah. Yeah, there it is. I'm surprised I was able to find it, to be completely honest with you. Cashman Field is the Neon Museum up here. When we went in December, there was a Tim Burton exhibit. And they had, it was very interesting. It might have been. This might be the Neon Museum up here. One of these two appears the Neon Museum. And it was just a whole bunch of Tim Burton neon lights, and this is it. This is the museum here. Like from all of his works. Like there was one from Beetlejuice, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, there's Cashman Field. Minor League Baseball Stadium. Alright. Let's go get the military on us and land here at Nellis. Open heart entry, how about that? The city lights are even illuminating the clouds over here. That is remarkable. Wonder what would actually happen if a super light like this actually managed to get on an approach at Nellis. Oh man, what a welcome you'd receive on the ground there. And those lights are extremely bright. Looks like we're on 03, right? And we are down at Nellis. So thanks for joining me on this little sightseeing tour of the interesting stuff in Las Vegas. And this is where I'm going to cut it right here. So hopefully everybody else gets a chance to, you know, get flying around on this game. It has been an absolute blast. It looks absolutely beautiful, and there's definitely 100% going to be more videos, possibly even more sightseeing videos. If you have a suggestion of a place to go sightseeing, that'd be more than happy to go give that place a look. So there we go. That's where I'm gonna cut it.